started out around like 2009. Yeah, it was just Bruce and I at first, and we kind of like slowly gained members. We had our first CD release show, and we recruited like the newest members, Krim, and there's a drummer and a bassist as well, but they couldn't make it today.
I was the band videographer, and then I switched to guitar.
Yeah.
Building momentum in a fan base. It's kind of tricky, you know, you play for new audiences and you hope that, okay, maybe they took notice, maybe they bought a CD, maybe they took a card, you know. You got to keep up with the Facebooks and the Twitters and the Instagrams and everything, and just trying to always stay on top of it, try to promote yourself as a package. And it's difficult because, you know, there's not a lot you know when you start it. You think, okay, I want to play these songs and I want to play at a show, but learning the business side of it, I mean,
yeah, that's really
no one in our band really comes from a business background, so we're all sort of learning the ropes, learning how to make
blind
content.
leading the blind, kind of.
Yeah. The real challenge is to get people talking. Yeah. Like we go through the standard channels, your Facebooks and your Twitters and stuff, and you hope people are listening. But the real challenge is to say, like, well, you know, if you liked this, show it to someone else. And that's the important thing. And we're trying to put up interesting content that, you know, appeals to people that already like our stuff, but that could maybe someone could show the band to someone else because of just how different this one aspect is. Like, we just posted a video during the summer. We did a little tour to Montreal, and on our way home, we were driving on the 401, and it came to a complete standstill. Traffic was at a complete stop, and after about 10 minutes, no cars were moving. We saw smoke in the distance, figured we weren't going anywhere, so we all got out of the van, set up our equipment, and started playing by the roadside. And there was a bus behind us, and it just cleared out. People were dancing on the side of the highway.
So
people
awesome.
were picking us flowers, right? So we recorded that, and we just put it up. And it's a video like that where you say, hey, this band is like, you know, playing in the middle of a traffic jam, and people are getting out of their cars to sing and dance. That's the kind of thing that's like,
it's such a beautiful moment.
Exactly. That's something that we hope other people can share with other people, just because it's such a cool thing that happens. Music is social, yeah, in a definite sense, because it's a form of communication. I mean, when I get up and when we play our music, I feel like I am communicating directly with the people that are at the show. I feel like, you know, with every chord I strum, I'm thinking like, you know.
Well, it's an exchange of energy between you and the audience, and you know, like.
It's definitely like, here comes the chorus, let's try to make them dance. You know, let's bring them out, let's make them have a good time, because we're having such a good time.
And well, when you can get into that zone where you're completely comfortable with what you're doing, and you can kind of like feel it flow out of you, like into the audience, and then they like project it back to you, and it's a really neat feeling. Yeah, that's the way that it should be.
Music's social. Well, it's social for me because I'm not very good at being social, so it's probably the only way I can, you know, it makes it easier to talk to people for sure.
We can connect with people easier.
Absolutely.
I think all three of us are on the same boat there.
Yeah.
Every show is to some degree. If it's a really good opportunity, then that's your milestone for the week.
I'm sure, like every time we play like a bigger or a more popular venue in Toronto, that's a pretty big milestone. Like. I listen to a lot of like 90s alternative stuff too, so I'm into like the heavier sort of grunge sound, and I think sometimes there's a bit of that element in our music, but it's mostly like jazz influenced, I guess, and folk and soul and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I think the influence was definitely listening to what Jessie had written before and what she was writing currently, and thinking like, yeah, that's like, you know, a little grungy, a little darker and stuff, and then thinking, what can I bring to the table? And most of the stuff that I write would be like a challenge I would set to myself. Like, I would learn a new chord and then think, how can I incorporate that chord into a full song and make it kind of like that? And then to pair that with whatever Jessie was thinking of doing to come up with a more original thing. I think definitely since we released the album too, there's been little steps. Each one is the next milestone. You know, we'd send out, 50 CDs to every campus radio station, and you don't hear back from any of them. And then one day, a guy in Kingston will say, oh, you made number 3 on our local charts. And it's like, hey,
and this
awesome.
is one of them for sure.
Yeah, this is definitely one of them too.
OPJAM. This is my show.